Let me tell you a story, and this is one of the stories that I want you to remember for the rest of your life. Listen, I was having a chat with one of the family members within Blackthorn, right? And we were having just this chill bro chat, we're in a group call together and we're discussing stuff as usual. And then he mentioned something. He mentioned that he literally said these words, right? He said, I bet in 2 years, we're gonna look back at ourselves now and we're gonna think, bro, we're so cringe, what were we doing, right? How were we thinking of doing all this? Why were we doing this, cringe that? And it's true. You probably look back at yourself right now and you think, how was I doing all of that when I was younger? How was I doing such stupid things when I was younger? How was I doing this 2 years ago when I first started getting into the gym? I did the most dumb, retarded thing possible. I was going to the gym, right? And I'd lift the weights. I'd lift low weight, low reps. That's right. Not high weight, low reps. Low weight, low reps. And I'd lift low weight, low reps. And I would go to the middle of the gym and I would do jumping jacks. Literally, imagine that. Imagine a guy in the middle of all like squat racks and shit, right? There's squat racks everywhere. There's deadlift platforms and everything. You just see him doing like a bunch of 5-pound shoulder presses and 5-pound bicep curls. And then he's all of a sudden he just starts doing jumping jacks. Out of nowhere, right? Now, when I look back at it now, what do I say? It's wrong, right? It's absolutely wrong what younger Ali was doing. He was doing jumping jacks in the middle of a gym when he wasn't supposed to. He thought that would help him out. It wasn't actually helping him out. It wasn't doing shit for him. It was actually slowing his progress down. It wasn't helping him out whatsoever. Younger Ali was making the wrong decision, right? When you look back at your own gym progress, you probably think, yep, that guy was making the wrong decision. Could have probably been doing something way better, way more optimized than him. But there's a huge caveat to this, and it's the fact that would you go back and tell him, don't do this? Absolutely not. You would not go back and you would tell him don't do this. Why? Because there needs to be a form of evolution. There needs to be a form of lessons being changed. So I told that guy right now, what you're doing is probably wrong. You'll probably find a better way to optimize this, right? Yes, that's absolutely true. Of course there's a better way to optimize it. But you need to go through this. You need to go through the trial and error. You need to go through that bullshit. You need to go through not knowing the exact path of knowing what to do. When I first started my channel, my videos were absolutely horrendous. They were the worst possible videos you could ever find. And although I had an affinity for powerful, charismatic, and great speech, they were still nowhere near to what they are today, right? Would I go back and tell him, Ali, stop recording those videos? Would I go back and tell that younger Ali, stop doing that in the gym? Because it's wrong? Absolutely not. There needs to be some form of evolution. Now 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the line, when you're making the money, when you have the supercars, when you have all the shit you want to have, right? And right now you're probably doing the business model you're pursuing right now is probably not the thing that's gonna make it for you. But would you go back in time and tell yourself, no, I wish you did something else. I wish you were doing something other than what you're doing right now because what you're doing is wrong? Absolutely not. There needs to be a form of evolution. There needs to be trial and error. So let me ask you this then. Right now, you're probably making mistakes. You're probably not in the right direction. You're probably not making the most optimal moves. But the question I have for you is, why are you worrying about it? Why are you so schizophrenic over trying to optimize absolutely and like fully everything? Because the fact is, no matter what you try and do, it probably isn't as optimal. You need to accept the reality that there needs to be a form of evolution. The mistakes must be made. The mistakes are unavoidable. Every single person you look up to who has suffered, who has brought himself to a position where he's at a really high position, right? But he also has a story with it. Every single one of these people who are at those levels, what did they have to go through? They had to go through trial and error. They had to go through making mistakes. They had to go through bullshit, right? And it wasn't the business that made them successful, gentlemen. It was one thing, and it was the personality traits. It's the personality traits that made them successful. It's the personality of not giving up. It's the personality of understanding that there needs to be an evolution to his character. That there needs to be some sort of change to the mistakes he's making, right? Making a mistake is not failing. The only way to fail and not get somewhere is actually giving up. That's the only way you don't get anywhere, right? And it's not the circumstance that makes you successful. It's not your business blowing up that makes you successful. It's not money spawning into your bank that makes you successful. You hear of these lottery winners all the time and they lose it all. Why? Because there's a bug in their mind. There's code that they needed to have fixed that they never bothered fixing. These lottery winners, they lose it all because the code that they have missing is the right personality. The personality that says, when I don't get views for multiple months at a time, I'll still keep going. The personality that says the mistakes I'm making are mandatory. The personality that says all of this is evolution to my character. The personality that has this omniscient, almost like ever-seeing awareness that the mistakes they're going through is what we call the struggle. And gentlemen, what does everyone need before he makes it? What does everybody need as a story before he makes it? It's the struggle. Let me tell you this one thing. It is an absolute shame. It would be the greatest shame for a young man to become successful without a story. It would be a great shame for younger Ali to have his channel blow up out of nowhere and then just have no story that comes along with it. It is a great shame, or it would be a great shame if I wasn't suffering through this period of low views and low stuff. I'm not gonna name the word, right? Because they're after me. They know exactly what I'm trying to do. That group of people is after me, right? It would be a great shame if I didn't have to suffer through that. But guess what? I'm glad I am. I'm glad I am, gentlemen. Because the very fact that I am just shows. It shows that there's great potential. It shows that there's great potential in every single realm of my efforts. In all of them, it shows that whatever I partake in, it shows that anything I do actually has strong potential, right? It has strong potential because I have the right, the correct, and the most powerful mindsets that the world can give me, gentlemen, right? It is absolutely imperative that you understand, no matter what you partake in, you need to have the correct mindset. You need to have a strong belief. You need to have a strong will that the mistakes you partake in are absolutely mandatory. So don't ever allow some people to tell you, yep, I can't do this because I keep making mistakes. The mistakes are imperative. They are mandatory in all of the realms, whether it be in the gym, whether it be in business. Right now, you're probably making mistakes. You think mistakes are avoidable. Brother, you think that right now, you must find a way to remove all of the mistakes. That's absolutely impossible. It's impossible for you to not make mistakes. What the fuck? What is that fucktard doing? Anyways, guy almost got me killed, bro. These fucking idiots. Never drive on the roads and highways, right? So as I was saying, it is imperative that you allow these mistakes to happen to you because there needs to be a form of evolution, gentlemen. There needs to be a form of you that accepts and has this omnipotent vision that it's personality that makes success. And right now, with all of these principles and philosophies that I'm showing you, what I'm building for you is these personalities, right? I'm not, like, right now, this isn't a video about the top 7 ways to make money. It's a video about the right personality to get to that level, right? I'll give you another analogy here. These mistakes that you're making are like XP points in video games. And in video games, what's the whole point? The whole point is leveling up so that you can attain greater weapons, greater swords, and greater guns, and more powerful weapons and everything, right? But how do you actually get these things? By leveling up. And what is the one thing that makes you level up in this world, gentlemen? It's these mistakes and these errors. If you want more philosophies like this, if you actually want to plug this in to a weapon right now, because I gave you the right philosophies, right? I gave you the personality, I gave you the right code. But if you want to plug this in to a right place where you can make astronomical amounts of money, there's a huge project we're working on. We can make astronomical amounts of money, make muscle like this, and change your life for the better, gentlemen. Find Blackthorn. Wish not for a lighter load.